It is day 3 at the QLA seminar here at Guthrie Castle. Yes, I am wearing a suit and tie. I'm sure you've never seen me shoot one of these videos dressed like this, but you know, when I do something, I like to go all in, and part of the requirements from Dan Pena was to be fully suited and booted, as we say in England, for the whole duration of the week, which means meals, all day for lecture time, for meeting time, everything. So, you know, I'm game. I'm here to learn, and it's been quite a few days, to say the very least. I mean, the most interesting part is that we're on the castle grounds here, which you can probably see, and I will show you around. I'm in the walled gardens here, which is just a stunning place to be. It's kind of manicured hedges that are 5 and 6 meters tall, and it's a really peaceful grounds. There's a 9-hole golf course here, and it's just really pleasant with the castle. And you know, we're here for 7 or 8 days, and we're kind of just becoming very used to being in a castle. And it's kind of hard to explain, but last night I was in the gym and I was on a treadmill, and I was like, I'm in a treadmill in a castle. And so you know, it's very interesting, but it's also kind of aside from the things that we're learning from Dan, which is the whole methodology of what goes on at QLA and his methodology for success. And you know, my view of Dan is changing by the day, I have to be honest. The first day on Monday, quite frankly, reminded me of my first ayahuasca experience, as in there was so much new information in my brain. I was learning at a rate I wasn't accustomed to. And Dan kind of broke it down and pretty much challenged all of us to think about what we've been doing with our lives for the last 10 years and what we could have been doing better, and how we felt about how much time we had wasted. And maybe that's a very succinct way of putting it, and why Dan's famous for his straight talk and no bullshit, and he can yell loudly and use a bunch of bad language if he wants to. He didn't really have to do that to get us all to think about our lives and think about maybe how we could have done better, or tried harder, or even thought bigger. And so perhaps it's a symptom of the people that come here, as in we've all agreed to open up our hearts and souls and give him all the information about our personal life and our businesses before we came here. But you know, everyone is kind of open-minded to some criticism and thoughts about our own choices and how hard we're pushing ourselves, or really a lot of this comes down to personal fears in our minds and what we think about ourselves, successive fear, and how we're all really limiting ourselves in our thinking. And guys here have businesses, but you know, there may be small businesses and they could be much bigger. And the first 2 days, this is day 3 now, have really had nothing to talk about the business specifics of how to do things, where that comes to finance. This has really been about getting inside of our own heads and trying to figure out what might be limiting us in many ways. And so that's why I compare it to the ayahuasca, because it kind of makes you confront things about yourself that you might really not want to talk about or even think about. And it's something that we all try to ignore, and sometimes we distract ourselves with media and the internet, and we don't ever really look a deep look at ourselves. And so that's why my reference to the Peña Oscar, which I made a few weeks ago on one of my pre-rolls, you might remember, is becoming much more accurate than I thought. And there's these following few days since I first drank my first Peña ceremony on Monday, have been really about processing that information. And so that's what I'm doing. You know, I thought I was going to hate it here, quite honestly, and I thought I'd be packing my bags every morning, but now I love it here, and I'm loving the lectures every morning. I'm loving the other 15 guys. They're very cool guys. We went out last night as a wolf pack. I know that sounds strange, and it's been kind of a cool male bonding experience too, which I did not see coming at all. And you know, we're all here to learn. We love listening to Dan and his stories and his insights, and he is unconventional. He doesn't mind swearing. He is the embodiment of General George S. Patton, for sure, as far as the way he talks, the way he motivates, the way he's real. You know, the interviews don't do Dan justice. I've interviewed him. There's a great interview on Bulletproof Radio that just came out, but you really have to experience Dan in all his glory. in everything to really to see what it's like. So we're having a fabulous time. You know, Dan has more stories than Eddie Bravo, and each one of them is just kind of massively entertaining. And just when you think you've heard all of his stories, he gives you 10 more. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight as far as what my week is like here. I've got my big meeting with Dan tonight where he's going to get in my face and break down what my thoughts are and what maybe I need to be doing with my life and what I want to do with my life. So I'm looking forward to that tonight. And then we have 3 more days of QLA training. And then on Saturday, we're all getting our kilts on for our graduation day. We're going to be up in the top tower of the castle afterwards, I think playing some snooker and things like that. And I'm sure these pictures look kind of strange when I'm uploading things of the castle and all these things, but I don't know, it just feels normal to be here now and to be walking around and having dinner in the castle and that kind of thing. So it's going to be hard for me to adjust when I get back home. Maybe many of you are probably thinking I've gone insane, that Peña's changing me and I'm changing from the DMT smoking London reeler, and I appreciate that, but I do think life is about the journey, and while I'm here I want to experience it the most I can and get as much as I can out of this place, and I really am having a whole hell of a lot of fun, and I love the fact that my preconceived notions are being challenged by someone, and so being in a perpetual state of learning, I think, is where we all want to be. And if that takes Mr. Dan Peña to take me there, then I'm more than happy. So it's been pleasantly surprised. Dan, if you watch this, I must say thanks so much for getting my ass here, which I'm sure was difficult, not to mention getting on my show, which I know I made difficult for you as well. And I'm just so glad I'm here. And it's just one of the cool things that's happened to me because of London Real, and I have to thank you guys for that. So there you go. Hopefully I will return and not stay here. I made a reference that in the movie Apocalypse Now, I am the Martin Sheen character that has traveled up through the Denang River up to Scotland in order to kill Colonel Kurtz, who Dan Peña is, but now I think I want to join him, so I might be going to the dark side, but I think I will come back to London and we'll see what happens. Hopefully I will leave Dan Peña alive, because I think he's got a lot to teach a lot of people. So there you go. I'll be checking in again right near graduation day to tell you what else happened, and until then, I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, it's about the goddamn journey. Peace.